Hey guys, it's Ben. It is Saturday afternoon. Coming off of God, this sounds so old manish of me, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of Investigation Discovery. They have their little app. I've been watching a lot of shows like Homicide Hunter and what do you call it? Evil Lives Here. Note to anybody out there who wants to watch Evil Lives Here. If you're in a house if you're by yourself in a house, double check those locks. Make sure that creeped the hell out of me. They really I have a lot of mixed feelings about Investigation Discovery. On the one hand, I think it's nice that they, shed a lot of light on, different crimes and whatnot. They get a little too sensationalist, though, sometimes, I think. It's one thing if you're doing these kind of promos for a horror movie. It's another when you're doing it for a documentary of a real event. I just feel like you got to show some respect for the deceased and for the family of the deceased. But anyway, that's totally neither here nor there. I'm just kind of, that's where, weirdly enough, I've been kind of looking for inspiration for more Outlaw Night stuff from some of that. Not a lot. Mainly Homicide Hunter. That one. That guy's got that old timey detective vibe that I like. He's from the 1930s. He's hardened, he's grizzled, but he's dedicated to justice. Blah blah blah. Like a real life Batman. We got 3 days. 3 days until we launch. The more I'm talking to people about going on shows, like, the more excited I get. I feel like a junkie at this point. It's kind of like, get that dopamine spike just from messaging back and forth, with people being like, yeah, come on. Really awesome stuff in the works. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit about, I like this. I like telling y'all a little bit about how I created Outlaw Nights, just to give y'all a little bit of a better sense of where I'm coming from. I know, like, a few people have done this thing where they'll, like, post pages of the script on the campaign. I just don't feel good about that. Mainly because I don't like the whole. I feel like a lot of people are kind of giving away the whole book, just from the campaign, and I don't really like doing that because it's like I want you guys to have a legitimate experience reading this. I want you to be surprised. I want you to have some, the twists and turns, whatever. I want you to, immerse yourselves in it without any real preconceived notions. I can tell you that most of the characters for Outlaw Nights, they're kind of amalgamations of different characteristics I saw in different characters, and it was like, and I based it off of what I liked, what I didn't like. I can tell you that when I created Taurus, I specifically designed him in a manner that was opposite of, my value set and my belief system. I'm very much about patience and mercy. Taurus is the exact opposite of that. He runs his ship very tightly. tightly knit, tightly wound. Very tense environment on the Magdalena. As you could probably see from the promo image, him lopping off an arm is nothing new and nothing shocking to the crew. And in many ways, I could tell you, like, when I was thinking of Taurus originally in my mind, I was picturing the guy who he played the character Simon in the Walking Dead TV show, and then he also played the character Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5. He was a big inspiration for the character when I was writing him. And then strangely enough, after I got the page back from Render, and I like the fact that, I gave him a physical description of Taurus, but I kept Taurus's description a little bit vague, just because I wanted to see what Render would do with it. And he actually made the character a lot better than what I was originally picturing. I felt like, he was really good with the muscles and just that blind rage on his face. Like that definitely fits the character. And I remember and it was with our first colorist that we were working with initially on these pages. He interpreted, I kind of left Taurus's skin color and all that, like I left it all kind of open. And he ended up giving me the page, and I noticed that he made Taurus look kind of Hispanic. And I thought like, hell yeah, that's better than what I was thinking, makes him more of a standout, unique character. He doesn't, he's not a cookie cutter character by any stretch, and he's not derivative of anything, and that's what I love. I'm saying, like, when I was originally writing the character, he seemed to be a little more derivative than I probably would have liked. And so the artist and the colorist helped make this character completely original. And that's what I love. That's what I love about this collaboration process, is that, like, areas where I end up being weak, my artist ends up being strong, and vice versa. So we do well bouncing off each other. So I can tell you with full confidence that Outlaw Nights is going to be a good book. It's going to be a good book. Little things like that, I just enjoy talking about those, because this process has been a blast. I shouldn't say blast. I know blast is, that's your typical media phrase to go to when you want to say something negative but you can't, so I shouldn't say blast. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. I tried to write it in a way where, in the past, my favorite stories, I get immersed in these worlds, and I sort of create, in my mind, you do your little fan fiction. And really, I love the concept of fan fiction, because it's the idea that, like, whatever you put out, your story, your work, touch somebody else enough to where, like, you've got them thinking about it and you've got them expanding on it in their own minds. That's what I want. I want to give, it's time to pay it forward. All the content creators who have inspired me in the past, it's time for me to inspire somebody else, or at least try to. This is my first book, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but I'm expecting, I poured all of my energies into this, so shoot for the stars. Hopefully we'll end up somewhere amongst the heavens. thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this video. I'm gonna do another video tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna get a stream going with somebody this weekend. I'm not too sure. I've been in talks with a couple guys about going on a show this weekend, and it's just kind of up in the air right now. But it's all good. Everybody in Comicsgate is being awesome and supportive. I can't recommend this group of people enough to people. It's what you'd want from any type of an art movement. It's people supporting each other and none of the silly competition BS, which just does nothing but hinder work. So check out the email page if you have not yet. We got Render working on one last page of work for the campaign, and I'm gonna be sharing that exclusively with the email list. So be sure to get on that. We're gonna be putting the link in the description below. As always, if you like what I have to say, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Go ahead, leave me a comment if you got anything to say about what I have to say. Questions, comments, concerns, whatever. I'm an open book. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Thank you so much, and I will join you guys tomorrow.